Good morning, beautiful people. I am in this energy on this good morning of October 29th. And I wake up in such awe, wanting just with the desire of me wanting to hear God's voice, right? By the way, it's Sunday, the 11 o'clock hour. And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, God, help me get back to me. I miss my creative self, right? This is why there's stagnancy there. You know, when you give up on your dreams in a way, sometimes you gave up on your dream unconsciously. And just because you get wrapped up in the rat race of like doing things and paying bills and taking care of the kids and trying to just stay afloat, right? And I'm just in this space where I'm so tired of the distractions or feeling distracted, right? Because it's like, okay, you're coming up with the ideas. Let's get into the motion of like writing those down and accomplishing those things, right? So I'm getting ready to watch this podcast episode of Michelle Mitchell, Blew Me. I had never heard of her until today. The interview is on social proof. And I'm just like, it's so many things running through my mind right now that I feel like I should be journaling, that I should be writing down. And I'm just like, I'm so overwhelmed with the thoughts. Let me just cut the camera on. God was like, go in the house, get your tripod, set it up, and just record. Period. Just start there. And so I get so overwhelmed with her story. We're like in at least maybe 7 minutes into the interview. 8 maybe. At least within the first 10 minutes is when this feeling comes up. And so I'm like, let's start with God first. Because thank God that she had such awakenings that I feel like I have, where it's like, God is just like, do this, right? Because when God say do this, I do it. You know what I mean? And so, and that's a scary place to live, for real, for real. Once you get to understanding, hearing God's voice, and then you actually start moving in a consistent way based on what your intuition has given you, you know, and trusting that you've thought about this enough. You've gone back and forth in your head about this enough, right? At this point, this nudge you keep feeling is God telling you to get your ass moving, okay? Stop standing still. Stop sitting still, waiting on a comfortable space to fucking take the next step, okay? And sorry that I had to cuss. I'm not trying to, God get it. Me and God, we got our own. Want to. You get what I'm saying? But anyways, I'm sitting here like, just thank you, God, for this level of an interview, right? And I'm so happy and grateful that you are putting the fire under my butt like you're putting it. I'm so happy and grateful that you are making me think the thoughts that I'm thinking so that I can progressively take the level of action in my life to take me where I know you want me to be. I know you want me to be. You wouldn't have given me these talents. You wouldn't have allowed me to seek out such a gift and cultivate it through the skill of practice, all by a feature of no design that was meant for my life. There's no way you sent me out here to learn fashion design and just to waste my damn time. Or just to give up on it. Or just to be like, girl, nobody gonna buy them clothes. Girl, that's gonna take too much work. Girl, you gotta find a seamstress. Girl, you gotta do this. Girl, you gotta do that. Girl, you gotta sharpen up this skill. Girl, you gotta... No, you're looking for a way out. And that's why you can't stop thinking about it.
When did you start seeing yourself as an artist?
I think for me, I had to get beyond validation, because whether people buy it or not, you still have to feel like you're a star.
Yeah.
And I had to transition from feeling like I was an artist and realize that I was a movement. I had to realize that I was an entrepreneur. I was a businesswoman. That art just happened to be my mode of transportation.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because that thought actually took me to a space of, speaking of, that's why you can't stop thinking about it. that also happens in relationship dynamics. Not to be jumping all over the place, because I'm finna get back to what I was talking about. But that also happens in relationships when you find yourself stagnantly like stuck on a person. You can't get them off of your brain. You know what I mean? It's because something there is unresolved. You need to go back and do the work that is meant to be done with that person. You know what I'm saying? But boom, that was a come love yourself moment for the reason. Get back to the business. Okay? And so that is very much where I am in my process. Like, okay, God, you've been calling me back to Sugar Ditch Girls. You've been calling me back to ComeCeelo.co. Okay? You've been calling me back to fashion design and hair and beauty. And the bulk of what gave me these are things that gave me the boost in the beginning, right? With my YouTube channel. Now I know it seemed like back in 2016 or 2014 that like hair and these things were the most popular thing to do. Like hair and fashion is the most popular thing to go after on YouTube, so let's just do it. No, in reality, these things stand over the test of time. Words to my boy Jai for bringing me back to awakening on those actual gifts that I have. These are natural gifts. These are like not even gifts I have poured investment energy behind, like in classes or just sharpen up my skills, because these are not things I went to school for. Doing hair, making clothes, and just naturally being business minded are not things I studied in school.
Art just happened to be my mode of transportation.
Yeah.
My dad's biggest motivators were drug dealers in the neighborhood. He said their drive and their hunger is like nothing I've ever seen. You just got to change their product. So I'm a dope girl selling art, right? So I had to channel that, like, oh, that hustle, like, you know, you get them pulled in with the eyes. Well, by the way, this $500. You're like, okay, let me find a way to buy it from you. And so I always remember that it's not about so much the product, it's about you selling the product. So I sold people me. I sold people hope, and I sold them my story. And so all along, the brands love the genius behind the colors, but they love that I am able to connect with people on a very intrinsic way. Like, I'm not trying to say, ooh, you know, one day you're going to grow up and be just like me. No, you're going to grow up and be just like you. And that's why I avoid a lot of these conferences that tell people, do 1, 2, 3, you're going to be just like me. Like, no, you ain't going to be like me, because this is what God gave me.
Sure.
And so I teach people to empower themselves. And so I think people fall in love with me and my spirit. And those 1 or 2 followers that follow you on IG are usually ones that are decision makers for companies. So we picked up in 2018 where I won the Spanx contest. Little did I know
And
that.
what was the Spanx contest?
The Spanx contest was where everyone around the world had to send in 3 designs to possibly have their own bra and underwear combination. It was called the Illuminate Her contest. I submitted, computer crashed, had my sister to submit, her computer crashes. So I'm like, well, child, they don't want me to win.
Wow.
I'm done with it. So I get a DM on my lunch break at work. I'm like, why is Spanx DM? I'm like, okay, all right, yep, send y'all $9.95. I'll get, I'm thinking it's a joke. She's like, no, this is so-and-so. I'm the VP of marketing. You're our top candidate. We've been trying to reach Melissa Mitchell because it was going to spam, because of course even my computer think it was a joke.
Oh.
And I'm like, I said, wait a minute, no, this is me. So I called her. I was like, hey, can I call? I'm calling the office now. She said, yeah, you're the top candidate. You're now in a global contest. So, I'm a HBCU graduate. I said, oh, I'm going to win. So I'm already preparing what I'm going to wear to the show. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm going to win this. So long story short, I win. Number 1 selling bra and panty combo. I believe it's sold out now because that was 4 years ago.
Wow.
So Sarah Blakely was not supposed to be in the country. She flew back to meet me personally.
Wow.
When I tell y'all this episode is making me so emotional. Like literally sitting up here crying, because this lady's story is stirring up something on the inside of me. And what hit me so bad with it is because I feel like this is me. Like down to I'm from an HBCU. I graduated from an HBCU. Like I'm about to show up and make my own damn outfit and do da. And that's exactly my energy. That's exactly my energy. And my story, that is insane. It's almost like watching somebody else live your story. Even though her story is her story and my story is my story. But the resonance of just like the energy, the soul, the spirit, it's so beautiful. Like, I think I just found my mentor. Y'all. And it's so awakening, because I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, yo, this just sounds too much like me. But that's what happens. You get messages like that you find, that you resonate with, that you delve into. Because I woke up today and I started watching a reading. And I was like, this is not the energy I want to take in for the first part of my day, right? Like, I'll do little energy checks and see what other people are giving, but that's the bulk of what's wasting my time, truth be told. I need to be, if I'm going to seek that energy, go ahead and do it myself. Because look how authentically it shows up, right? And if you know me, you know me. This is more personal for me. So, you know, but I'm trying to include everybody in, like getting hold of the vision yesterday when I thought that, and then shuffled, and then that same card came out. Insane. That's the stuff that be happening that just be making me be like, yo, I need to always have the camera on, because it's a movement I'm trying to share. It's a belief system I'm trying to share, and I can't always catch that on camera. I wish I could, and sometimes maybe it's not healthy that I do, you know, not all the time. Like, everything may not be meant for the camera, right? It's easy to say that, but when you feel a specific way about your story, can't nobody tell you about cutting the camera on, or when is the proper time, or when it's not. Like, this is my story I'm recording, right? So if you're in the vicinity where I am and you don't like to be recording, you can excuse yourself. I'm trying to work on cussing. Y'all saw that? Y'all count that? But yeah, so I got some more energy down, and I'm gonna try to include and insert some pieces in between the episode, because it's just so profound. And I feel like anybody who is creative should watch this. If you have any form of creativity in your blood flowing through your veins, skill, talent, hobby, something that you're great at, you need to be watching this. Creative people need to be watching this episode. I'm gonna tag the link below.
But yeah, speaking of social media, I do answer my DMs. I do, because like even this morning, that random video I did 1 minute on the rooftop of the event, someone's like, I burst out crying because I'm struggling with that right now. And so when God gives you a message, deliver it. Like, it's somebody's life is dependent on that, and I don't take that lightly, right? Especially entrepreneurially, people are struggling because you see so many wins online and you're like, well, dang, I do the same thing, or how is it not, it's not fair. And it's like, life isn't fair, but it's also just. Yeah. When it's your time, it's your time. And I've had to watch people that had no talent win before me, but I've seen a lot of people with talent win too. So I'm like, well, when my wins come, I don't want nobody to feel a certain kind of way, because that's why I try to chronicle my lows as much as my highs. So, when these wins come, these tears are not constructed for this post. This is like a real thing. So if you go back to my post all the way from September 20th, 2018, the same genuine pureness, hunger, I'm still hungry like I was when I first started painting on the carpet in my mother's house.
These are things that I gravitated towards just by nature, just by God's will. You know what I mean? And so it's like, let's get back to those things. Like, what are you doing? You're trying to force people to understand these perspectives of healing. How about you just soak up the healing and you focus on the shit that just makes you happy?
You got friends?
I do have friends.
A lot?
I do.
Not that you have friends, but like...
No, I do.
Like a
core folks.
Core group.
I have several sets of friends for several different reasons. But I withdraw from 90% of them all the time, because I just have to keep because I don't want to hear about dating. I don't want to hear about excuses. I don't want to hear about, it's good to have that, but as an artist that speaks spiritually, I have to be very, very clear about my energy. So I'm very silent and alone a lot.
Some of them got like whole energy, don't they?
It's not even that. I just think that people don't know anything other than to vocalize stuff, right? So it's like people speak it out, and I'm a sponge. I'm an empath. So I'm like, oh my God, David is so sad. I got to go deal with that. Like, so I'm now I'm pulled into whatever you have going on. And I love my friends.
So you feel it when someone.
I feel like I'm immediately, I'm crying when somebody's like, what did he do? I said, I said, no, I got to finish this painting. But when I get off this phone, we going 3-way, so I'm an action person. Don't call me complaining if you're not trying to do something.
Come Love Yourself is about to take a very selfish turn in that way, I feel like, because you cannot, the thing about healing and being very passionate about like emotional healing and like reading and like helping people deal with toxic energies, you cannot let that shit consume you, or you'll become the toxic energy or the stagnant energy or the, like, I'm sure when I get intuitive nudges, I'll give y'all readings when I give y'all readings, but And who's to say I'm not done with reading, but these are just things that are coming up. And I'm just hoping that if you are in this space too, you can resonate and be like thinking about the things that you are also blessed with naturally that you can get back to, right? Because we all get to this place in our journey where we focus a little bit too much on the things that are not like on a grander scale. If you were to cease and desist today, right? These things that we are worrying about on a daily basis do not even fucking equate to anything. Like, we really be focused on the wrong things. I know I do sometimes. If I'm too focused in an emotional space, or if I'm too focused in the physical world trying to chase money, or if I'm too, it's like the hard part is finding balance, right? But you got to find that list of things, not even one, that list of things that you can commit to, right? The things that work for you. You know, what worked for me maybe getting up working out every morning. What worked for you maybe getting up meditating every morning, or like reading a book every morning, or you know, something like that. Pray, meditate, meditate or work out may be my number two. Your number two may be read a book or take a bath. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Whatever works for you, you just gotta lay that ritual out in a way that there are consistent core values that do not switch up, no matter how you lay these things out as your day, right? And so as I'm teaching y'all, I'm teaching myself. So I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down. But I just wanted to say thank you, God, for continuously regurgitating the thought process of the focus, because legacy can be built here. We all have the opportunity to create it, right? And it's just like, sometimes I get so frustrated with myself, because it's like, why, God, do I have all of this talent if you're not going to send me the clarity on how to connect it and put it together? And it's not that God is not sending us the clarity on how to put it together. Sometimes we just don't stay still enough to receive the information. You know, we always thinking that it's the next thing we got to do to actually get it accomplished. And sometimes sitting still is a part of that process, but we'll get into all of that a little bit deeper. I feel like I'm repeating my first digital product that I'm gonna be having coming out, but I'm still working on it. I thought I was gonna have it out by now, and I'm annoyed by that too. It's just like, but no, there's more work to be done. You make it better the more information you gather, and then find a way to condense it, right? Because ain't nobody finna sit down and skim through no 50-page ebook. Like, sis, don't even worry about it. Give me about 10 good pages and some good action plans that I can use to get on head where I'm needing to go, and we got us a deal, okay? But anyways, I just want to tap in, mostly for myself. That conversation need to be put out, and it's just like, ooh, all of these things, girl, all of these things. This interview is just bringing up all of these things. It's triggering, but I love it, because it's like, get back to it, girl. Like, it's not too late. You are still that girl. You are still that talented girl. You still can make beauty content. You know what I mean? And since not making beauty content is crazy, I show up more like this. That's what happened when you don't step into that call. Especially when I pop up on camera. Girl, you couldn't pay me to pop up on camera looking like this in 2016. Ever. You can pay me to go nowhere looking like this. Somebody go record me? Girl, no. In bonnet zone. But of course, 20-year-old CeeLo and 30-year-old CeeLo hit different. So, girl, if ever it came down to it, the look can get slayed. Okay? Let's not even doubt yourself in that area, okay? You can show up fully like this in a comfortable zone, in a safe space, and still pop your ish, okay? For lack of worse words, okay? So I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. And let me get back to this interview, because it was really stirring up some greatness in me. I love it.